Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Kristie with AG Takes Over. I'm so glad you're here. I am doing my third Q&A video. I think coincidentally, the first one I did, I had 350 subscribers. The second one, that had doubled to 700. And this third one, it has doubled to just over 1,400. But that is coincidental. I just do these whenever I feel like it. So thank you to everyone who sent in questions. I think I can answer all of them. And if you missed an opportunity to submit a question, just keep your eyes peeled. I usually post them on a community post and leave it open for about a week before I close it out and make the video. So they're mostly kind of ish organized, but I don't promise exact organization. And the first one is one I don't even have a great answer for, but let's dive in. Who is your favorite historical collection? No, sorry, it says what is your least favorite historical collection? I don't know. So part of me wants to say Felicity just because that's a doll I don't really love, but all of the early dolls had amazing collections just by nature of like how big their collections were. So maybe I should go with the newest historicals because they have the smallest collection so far. And that skateboard park is really chintzy. You know what? I hate to say it, and it's not because they're from the 90s, just because the collection is small and not great quality. I'm going to go with the Hoffman twins. The first question about my job is, what do I do for a living? Simple enough. I'm a sign language interpreter. I work among American Sign Language and English primarily, and to a lesser extent between American Sign Language and Spanish, since I'm trilingual. I am also a trainer or an instructor for other interpreters. And specifically, I work in a video relay service company currently and have been for a little over 8 years. How did I get into ASL interpreting, and do I have any advice for anyone looking to learn American Sign Language? I took an evening class when I was in high school, which was forever ago, and it was like just an 8-week class. It didn't teach me grammar. It didn't teach me culture. It was just lists of vocabulary that were like related to a theme, and we memorized them every week. And at the end of it, I knew lots of words and couldn't hold a conversation at all. But it was enough to spark my curiosity. And after that, I went to college for interpreting. I made deaf friends. So I would say it was a combination of immersion and study. I think that I would recommend the same approach to other people as well. So I know that a lot of people are interested in just finding accounts to follow on YouTube and Instagram. In fact, somebody emailed me about that recently, and I will try to find some ones that I recommend. I haven't been in that position of being a new learner of sign language in so many years. So I'm not as familiar with what are the best channels and what are the best accounts, but I will look into that and post some maybe on my next interpreted video. But really, I do think a balance of having actual connections to deaf people in your life and maybe taking a structured course is good. Next section, or like next kind of grouping of questions, are all about my hobbies and collections. So we'll move on to those. Next one was, which are your top 3 dolls in your collection? Oh, I can never do this. The best I could do, honestly, is like who's in the top half and who's in the bottom half. But just to answer the question, I'll go with Violet, Gabriella, and Sydney this time around. Who knows? Who is your Grail doll if money were no object? A pristine JLY 11 or Girl of Today 11. And I don't know when that's going to happen, just because money is an object and people are usually well aware of that, and that doll is expensive. But yeah. What is a doll or some dolls where your anti-grail? I like this because they said, who's your grail doll and who's your anti-grail doll? Or a doll that people get excited about and you're kind of like, meh, I'm good. Of the newer ones, and I mean no disrespect to anybody's tastes or preferences, for me, of the newer ones, 109 and 110, and of the older ones, Felicity and any of the Dreamer dolls. So I'm putting pictures here beside the sign language interpretation, just so people can see what I mean. But if you need to pause, you can do that. All right. Who is your favorite Girl of the Year doll or Girl of the Year collection? My favorite Girl of the Year doll might be Leah or Gabriella. I don't know, probably one of the two, but my favorite collection is definitely Grace's. Hey, I had a definitive answer. Who's your favorite Truly Me doll? Tough. 40? I really like 40. 45? 31? Okay, before I give you too many, that's what I'm sticking with. 40, 45, and 31. It's the best I can do. Next question was, who is your most prized doll? And I focused on that word prized because it's different than favorite. So I said Journey, who's our Truly Me 45, and most prized because, and I'll try to make this quick because those of you who have seen my videos are familiar with her story, but she's a 45, which is kind of hard to come by and definitely hard to come by inexpensively. She was 45 or 40, $50. And I have it in a spreadsheet somewhere. Anyway, she was not more than $50. And the person was several states away, would not take cash, would not take electronic payment, would not ship. It was like cash only, porch pickup. And I reached out and said, could I at least have some time to try to find somebody to come pick her up for me? And they said, you have until 11 this next morning. Which was like a handful of hours. And I reached out to just kind of put it out there on a doll group and on my personal Facebook page. And a friend of ours had a cousin who happened to be going in that area the next day. And amazingly, it all worked out. And the friend even happened to be coming to our town for a family reunion. And so a couple weeks later, we had her in hand. We didn't even have to pay shipping. She was like picked up for us by a stranger and delivered to our friend who gave her to us, which was just amazing. So like, I think she's our most prized my most prized doll because of her value, but also because of her story and all of the like random acts of kindness that went into getting her to us. All right. Which doll has my favorite, or which historical doll has my favorite collection? So I already answered Grace for the Girl of the Year. I think Mary Ellen. Like, there's not a weak outfit, really. All of her outfits, even her prototype outfits, like all of her outfits are cute. She has decently cute shoes. Like all of her clothing stuff is cute. She has the couch and the television and the little end tables and the TV trays, the Airstream, her diners, her bakery case. Yeah, she's got a great collection. And yeah, I don't know. It's an era. The collection definitely appeals to me. So, okay, who's my favorite historical character? Character was the word I honed in on this one. So I was focusing on stories, not like collection or not the looks of the doll, but specifically the story, what makes the character a character. Then I would say either Kit or Melody, probably. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that before I overthink it. Next one is, what features and storyline would you give to a new historical or Girl of the Year doll? I'm going to focus on Girl of the Year. Features, Addie Mold. You're going to laugh if you've seen my recent unboxing of my new CYO. Addie Mold, medium skin tone, freckles, brown eyes, and a black bob with bangs. I would make my new CYO the Girl of the Year. As for her storyline, I'm not sure. I know the one thing I really want is a doll that doesn't have an expensive or special hobby, a doll that's not like a prodigy in something or trying to be a prodigy in something, and is just a regular kid. Like, I thought we were getting that with Corinne, but then they made her a 10-year-old search and rescue dog trainer, which is so laughable. Like my 22-year-old is currently training a service dog, and a 10-year-old search and rescue dog trainer is ridiculous. But yeah, something, just a normal kid. I know a lot of you haven't read Lindsay's one tiny little book. But that is the most appealing thing to me about Lindsay is her story and the fact that she just got to be a kid. And they kind of got away from that where every kid needed to have their thing and be amazing at something or be striving for, excellence in some expensive, time-consuming, specialized hobby. And I don't think we all need that. Um, how long have I been collecting American Girl dolls or been interested in them? Since 2020, not long at all. They weren't on my radar as a child or when my first daughter was young. And I got into it when my wife got back into her, childhood love of American Girl. What are some of your other hobbies besides American Girl? My hobbies ebb and flow. I enjoy reading and crafting. And when I'm in better shape, I enjoy Zumba. I like logic puzzles and word games and super lazy gardening. And I don't know, probably other things I'm not thinking of. Do you think you would start another collection other than AG? No. No, there's only enough money and space for American Girl, and I don't want to get overwhelmed. We have one or two dolls from other collections. We have a Hearts for Hearts doll and two Harper Ramon dolls, and Grace just got a couple Disney and Barbie dolls, but that's it. Like, I do not want to start collecting any other line of dolls. I'm actively nope. It's a nope for me. Um, and not because these are superior, but like I said, there's only time and space for so much. And I prefer to like really dive into this one collection than have several of like fashion dolls and all of the other size dolls. How many dolls do you have, and how do you find good deals on doll stuff? Okay, we have just over 80 dolls, which is a crap ton. Um, and I find almost all of my good deals on Facebook Marketplace. I search, I do buy through other places, but overwhelmingly it's Facebook Marketplace for me. And I search regularly and I'm willing to buy larger lots if there's enough that I want in them because I'm willing to do the work to sell off the items that I don't want. And it's often a better deal that way. And I get things that I wouldn't be able to afford if I bought them individually. So there are more questions in that. Do you have any welly wishers? Yes. We, meaning my wife and I, have Gwen, and our daughter has Ashlyn and Willa so far. We actually have the other three, minus Bryant, but we space out the gift giving. So we do have all of them except for Bryant in the basement, but the ones that are being enjoyed currently are Ashlyn and Willa, and one of the earlier Glitter Girls dolls that my daughter has. Do you have any bitty babies? And if yes, can we get a collection video? And also, have you ever customized a bitty baby? No, I have not customized a bitty baby. I will not ever be doing that. I've seen a couple decent ones. I've seen a lot that are a little bit frightening to me. But no, it's just not something I have any interest in personally. I don't have any bitty babies. My daughter does. She has a racially ambiguous one. I don't know what the description of it is. That we call baby Michaelina after Jane the Virgin. A black one that we bought for her named Rory, and then an older white one that we got for cheap or free. I don't know, maybe it came in a lot that has yet to be named. So she has 3 of them. Next, let's see. Next grouping, do you have any large or long-term goals for your collection? No, I don't. I'm just having fun and I'm trusting that things will evolve as it makes sense for them to evolve in our lives. I don't have any large or long-term goals. Where do you see it going from here? I'd love a breakdown of what molds or tones you have as well. Where do I see it going from here? Since we got the basement space, since I made that space down in the basement, which I love, the tiny doll room upstairs does not feel so crowded. And it feels like it's okay for us to have a few more dolls because now they're all being displayed and they're all highly visible and it doesn't feel overwhelming. So we will probably still get some more dolls. The closet's super packed, but I'm probably going to keep getting some clothes. What I do see is that we have to be really particular about any big ticket item that we pay a lot for. If I see like a super cheap big ticket item, I'm still getting it because we have space. But we don't have a lot of space to display more big ticket items. Like we have space to store them, but not to display them. So if I'm going to pay full price or close to full price on a big ticket item, it might have to like, it's going to have to be really worth it. And it's probably going to have to bump out some other items so that it can be displayed. So I see me being more picky about big ticket items. If we get more of them, potentially having to sacrifice some others just because there is a finite amount of space. Yeah, other than that, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes from here. I'm just enjoying it. A breakdown of what molds and tones we have. I do have a video showing one of every mold since we do have all of the molds. I just haven't posted it yet. I could do a video series that's done by molds. I don't know about tones. I guess I could organize maybe my next All My Dolls video I could do by tone, and then that would be a way of doing that. Hey, I'll do that. That's how I'll do my next All My Dolls video. So that won't be until 2024 probably, but I will, or like the beginning of next year. All right, next question was, will you ever consider your doll collection complete? I don't know. The only other thing I've ever collected was Harry Potter stuff. We had and still have a crap ton of Harry Potter stuff. But with that collection, two things happened. First, we reached a point where our collecting slowed way down. Not because we enjoyed the stories any less, but just because we had a lot of stuff. And we wanted to be really selective about bringing in more. And then second, the author of the stories began expressing views that are categorically at odds with my beliefs about human rights, and that changed the way that we shop. So we do still buy things created by fans, but it definitely, I will just keep it short and say it changed the way we shop. And that's my only direct experience as a collector. So I don't know. Could I see something similar happening with American Girl? To be honest, I could. We'll reach a saturation point where we start being very, very selective and paring down some of our collection just because of space constraints and to keep things from getting overwhelming. And they make some decisions that I have issues with. So I could see us changing the way that we shop, but not getting rid of our collection and not enjoying our collection any less. So that's kind of where we are with Harry Potter. I could see that happening. I don't know. All right. Next series of questions is all kind of random. Which American Girl Place store is your favorite, or which one would you want to visit? My favorite is Columbus because it's our local store, but I would love to visit the New York store. Have you ever been to any American Girl Canadian stores? I have not. I haven't been to Canada since I started collecting. But if they still have Indigo stores when I go back to Canada, I will definitely check one out. Next, can we get an Addie collection video? No. No, I love Addie, but we just don't have much from her collection, so it probably wouldn't warrant a video. But if you come across a good Addie collection video, you let me know because I do love her collection. Next, please share some of your filming, editing tips, and perhaps you could do a film a Canva tutorial. And then the person says what they're struggling with, what programs they're struggling with. I think this is best done as a separate video because I don't want to gloss over that question. So I'm just including it here to say heard, filed away. It may become a future video, but I don't think I can do it justice in this one. Next was, what do you hope September's limited edition doll is? I don't know, but could she please be an Addie mold? Is that too much to ask? Yes, I'm sure it is. I don't know. I don't have any. I kind of hope she's not another Disney one, just because it doesn't make sense to do 3 separate releases and 2 of them be Disney collabs, but one of them not be. So I don't have any skin in the game about what September's limited edition doll is. Next question I really liked. It said, if offered one commission spot for an AG one-of-a-kind item of your dreams, any sort, from anyone, what would you pick? I really thought about this question, maybe more than the other questions. And here's what I came up with: a fully articulated American Girl sized body that I could switch out my dolls' heads on and do awesome poses. Like, do I want AG to be ball jointed dolls and fully articulated? No, because I think that fully articulated dolls kind of look weird in swimsuits and shorts and things like that. I don't know. Seeing all those joints is kind of weird to me personally, but I would put long sleeves on and I would put pants on to cover up all the joints, and I would pose the crap out of an AG doll. So I don't want all of my dolls to be that way, but I would love to have a body or like several in the different skin tones and be able to switch out their heads and pose them. Oh, I would love that. Anybody want to make that happen? All right. 3 more questions. Next one says, how do you deal with dolls in public? And when I first read this, I just pictured like misbehaving dolls. Like, I tell them, you wait until we get home. No, I give no craps. I mean, I engage if people say nice things, but like, if they give me weird looks, I don't care. Who are these people to me? Like, I do not care. And I don't say that to sound aloof. I don't care. It's you know what? I am so entitled to some joy in the world, just like all of us are. And this is joy that does not come at anyone's expense. So nobody's going to make me feel weird or bad about it. They're just not. Um, if people say nice things, yeah, I'll engage. But like anything that I'm a super fan of, I have to remind myself that even people who are interested and think it's cool are probably not as interested in hearing as much as I'm interested in sharing. So I try to remind myself of that and not make them regret asking questions. Another question was, how do you avoid being scammed? I assume that this means when I'm purchasing things. So I keep an eye out for red flags. Like if somebody's selling on Facebook Marketplace and the deal is too good to be true, but they've had their account a very short time and they don't have any friends or posts, I'm not buying. Also, unless I'm picking up locally and paying on the spot, I only pay with either PayPal goods and services or Venmo with purchase protection. I have been scammed twice. I've had 3 times that I had to have purchases refunded, and one of them was just it got lost in the mail. I genuinely believe this person sent it. The other 2 were actually I got scammed. And both times I had used Venmo but added purchase protection. I know people are always like, the Facebook groups will say PayPal goods and services, that's it. But Venmo had my back with the purchase protection, and it was like hassle free. So I will trust either one of those personally. But if somebody, I will pay the extra fee too. So I'll just like calculate the percentage that they're going to get charged. And so if it's like $100, then I will send them more than $100. So that I know that once the, whatever percent gets taken out, they still receive the money they're expecting to receive. And I get the peace of mind of knowing I have purchase protection. Last question was, how do you deal with the toxicity that sometimes lingers in the doll community? This is a good question. If we're talking about bigotry, because this community has its fair share of it in terms of homophobia and transphobia and racism, and just there's plenty of bigotry, unfortunately. I protect my peace by selective consumption of social media. Um, there are Facebook groups or maybe accounts that I unfollow. I'm selective about what I'm taking in terms of the social media in this community. And I also try to be some of the change I want to see in the world. So I'm mindful about which businesses I support. And I try to, make sure that I am mindful in my collections and my, purchases, in my comments, in whatever. So yeah, hopefully I'm contributing to the like offsetting bigotry or addressing it. And focusing on the innocent joy of our dolls. Just, yeah. just find the joy in them and dress them. And when the bigotry hits home unexpectedly, like when there were lots of anti-pride things being said on AGTube accounts, and it was very ugly, and it's very disappointing. But these dolls still look amazing in dresses, and it was nice to get lost in that. They looked great in their pride outfits, and it was great to get lost in that. If we're talking about the out of control consumerism, because I think that's also toxic, right? Where people are constantly feeling the need for the next thing, and AG is like assaulting us with constant new releases, and every new doll that comes out or every new thing that comes out, like you can't help but see it 20,000 times when you're scrolling through Instagram if you're on doll accounts like I am. I set a budget. I track my spending like faithfully, and I remind myself that comparison is the thief of joy. So I don't need to worry about my collection compared to anyone else's, and nobody watching this needs to worry about their collection compared to mine, right? We all can focus on the dolls in front of us, and that might be one doll, right? The doll in front of us, and enjoy that doll and don't worry about what everybody else has. So, yeah. That is how I deal with the toxicity that sometimes lingers in this community. Thank you so much for some thought provoking questions. Hopefully, you learned something new and it was worth the watch. I'm going to put a playlist of, let's see, a playlist of dressing my dolls videos. Why not? On the left. And then I will put a randomly selected just for you video on the right. So if you want to binge watch, you got your options. And otherwise, please subscribe, comment below, and I will see you for the next video. Bye.